All right. So, any questions until the previous session? ఏం లేవా?
No, sir.
No, excuse me. Okay. In that case, let us proceed forward with the next topic at hand, which is Python is the next topic at hand is, if by far we have seen building our own functions, right? And we have learned that the greatest advantage of working with functions is you can use your functions not only in your project, but across projects. So, Kada, we have learned initially that functions are something that can be used across projects. Okay, that information is nice, but how? Right? So, to understand that is our motto with this concept. But to do so, we need to learn something more, a little more fundamental. So, what are they? We will be first talking about the built-in capabilities of Python. Okay, built-in capabilities of Python. What are they? Python is said to be a language with batteries included. So what does the phrase batteries included mean? Anybody?
No, Diego.
Okay, have you guys ever purchased a fan or something?
Yes,
Okay, you guys have purchased fan. Were those remote fans or?
just electric fans, normal. Plug
Okay,
and
no.
play.
Okay, so we all purchased a lot of electronics, right? Like mobiles, or have you guys bought Google Chrome or something? Chrome in the sense Chromecast or something.
Oh, yeah, Fire Stick, yeah, bro.
Okay, Fire Stick you bought, right? So when you
Yeah,
bought that Fire Stick, it came with batteries inside it, right?
yes,
A set of batteries. How many
yes.
were required by the remote?
It's included in that device.
Yes,
Yes.
that is the analogy. So which means like Python is a programming language that comes with batteries included, means the basic functions required for your program, for most programs, they come with the Python programming language itself, which means the functions that we have been using by far, like print, we've used print, right? We've used int to convert, we've used input, a function. We did use all these functions so far. Do you remember?
Yes.
So these all are, and many more are considered to be the built-in functions of Python. Okay, which means
Okay.
as you open the box, Again, analogy, open the box means when you open your terminal and hit Python and hit enter, Python prompt opens up, right? And we can
Yes.
directly use these functions. You can directly say print hello world without doing any installation or importing. Hence, they are called as built-in functions. Okay. Examples are, one second. Examples are print, then range we have used so far. We have used type, we have used ID, and so on so forth. We haven't used this yet, but we will use very soon. Okay. Any questions until this?
No, Gautam.
Okay, so these are the functions that are readily available always as soon as you open your Python prompt. So how to find more functions? What all built-in functions are available that we can use without any import? For that, we have this command called as dir. Okay, dir, remember, this is one of the mantras of Python. I used to say to people that there are two functions in Python. Okay. When you know how to use these two functions, you can claim that you know how to write Python. And this is one such mantra. And hence I call these mantras. So one is dir and the other one is help. You know how to use these two functions and you understand basic syntax of Python, you can claim that you know Python. As long as you can figure out what are the available functions on an object. This might sound a little weird now, but don't worry. Little baffling, but don't worry. Okay. As long as you know how to find out what are the available functions on a given object and how to use that object by using the help function. If you can learn how to use the object, okay, by using the help function, then you can claim that you know how to write code in Python. And these two, both of these are part of built-in functions in Python. Okay. Apart from these two, what all are available, you can check with this keyword. Any questions so far? All right. If no questions, let us proceed. Yes.
Gautam, that first one is DIRES is the word.
No. That's just dir. Sorry.
Yeah, just now you are erasing that one.
Yes, dir and parenthesis
Okay,
function.
Okay, got it.
This is also parenthesis. Okay. All right. So we will see now the functions. Uh, okay. You guys able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Excuse me. All right. Mhm. Why make public? Don't open. Okay. Right. So what we've said we can find out the built-in functions using this method or function called as dir, in which we use the quotations and write double underscore built-ins double underscore. Okay. Now let us run this program. You see, these are all the built-in functions available in Python.
And what are those functions like underscore add underscore class
These are called as special methods.
methods?
We will learn about them when we learn about object-oriented programming. For now, understand that they are also built-in functions in Python, but these have the dir function you see here, okay, is an alias for this thing. When you are writing dir, internally Python is calling double underscore dir double underscore. Okay, so these are nothing but those are also functions, built-in functions. A little more special functions, and that have something called as aliases. Any questions?
No, bro.
All right. One second. Yes. These are the other set of built-in functions that we have been talking about. Like, what? Yeah, we've used ID, right? We've used ID. Where is type? MNOPQR.
Yeah, use input as well.
type. Yes, you will have int input and range. So these are all the built-in functions again.
If you remove the quotes also, it will get printed, Gautam, in that directory.
Okay, when you are putting quotes, something else is happening.
Okay.
What? We will discuss.
Okay.
When you are not putting quotes, there is this built-in class in Python. So what is a class? For now, imagine as if it is something created, developed by the developers of Python. It is developed by the developers of Python, but what it is, how to think about it, how to perceive it, we will learn later. For now, there is something that's called as class. Imagine that is having or that is hosting all of the regular methods that we generally use. This should have even the print. Yes. dir help all this. Any questions? If no questions, let us proceed further with the next topic.
Gautam, and how to use these functions and what are the parameters that we can pass by using these functions and all by using help command only we can find out.
Yes, that is for you too. We have seen how to use a few of these functions, like the print function, range, type we have used, right? So
No,
how
these
to,
functions,
sorry?
these functions we have used, but if any function is there,
Mhm.
example, if you take length, what are the parameters that we can pass? Or if we take range, what parameters we can pass if we are not aware?
Uh, yes.
Is there any, like in Linux, if you see there is a man command for each Linux command, if you see man, and if you type the command, it shows the what are the parameters, how different parameters we can
Yeah,
use.
exactly. So that is what the dir and help functions do. So I'm just wondering if we can do something. Yes, we'll do something. Yes. Okay. Now this thing. No. Open control console shell. Okay. So now let us make this our this thing. Is it okay? Is it visible?
Yes.
1 second. It's loading. All right. So let us get into the Python environment. Now let us say you want to learn about the len function. Okay, we have seen something called as len, right? Let us do help on len. And when you are calling the help function on a given function, okay, you should not mention the parenthesis for the len. See, I am passing len here without the parenthesis. And then here is my answer. Help on built-in function len in module built-ins. So len takes one parameter, which is an object, any object. Okay. For example, let us say Q, if you hit Q and you will come out of that environment. And let us say you have something called as Python. And we can say len of and this is giving 6. Right? What is it? That 6 is nothing but the length of the characters in this object. Python is considering whatever we are passing between these codes as an object. Okay, so we have 6 characters in between them, right? And hence it is saying 6. For example, if we say len of, what should be the output?
11.
Including the space, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So you got it. And this length function doesn't work only on strings. Okay, the length function will not work on number types, which are int, float, complex. This will not work on these types, but there are other data types that will work with the len function. Okay, like strings and more. What are those more is for later session. Any questions? Hello?
No questions, Pratham.
All right. If that is the case, let us go back and read this. All right. So this is about the built-in functions in Python. Okay. Now let us talk about the second variety of library called as the standard library. Python has pretty extensive standard library. Okay. So what is a standard library? These are also the functions that your installation of Python comes with. Okay, you don't have to install standard library functions. No need to install. However, we need to import these functions. What does import mean? Anybody? So when you buy,
Im-
yeah, sorry.
Importing the existing libraries, like which is already written or available in Python.
Exactly, which means, let us say you have recently bought a portable projector. Right? It comes with lots of cables, lots of variety of cables, not just HDMI. They come with something called as display cables or something like that, which is half HDMI or something like that. Okay, they come with multiple cables. You don't have to use all of them, but if you want to use them, you need to bring the, like, whenever you are taking your projector outside and you want to use the separate cable, you need to carry the cable in your bag or in your arsenal to be able to use it at that location, right? Having them inside, in like in your home, will not help. Okay, which means your Python installation comes with all these standard library functions also. Anyone trying to say something?
No,
All right.
just Venkat got some background.
Okay. So your Python installation, your exe file, or your, if it is a Mac, the .dmg file is coming with standard library functions also. But in order to use these functions, we need to bring them into our program. That process of bringing them into our program is done using the keyword import. Any questions here? Python has extensive list of standard library functions. Here are just a few examples. We have math for mathematical functions, datetime for datetime operations, OS module also for operating systems dependent functions, JSON module, random function to generate random numbers. Excuse me. Okay. Apart from this, the list is really huge, and where to find the list is here. You see? These are all the standard library functions. The list is really extensive. And hence Python is called as language with batteries included. Any questions? So how to use this standard library functions? Let us write a program and see. Libraries.py. And what we will do is let us import the math library, and we have seen the floor division, right? Similarly, let us look at something called as ceil division. Okay. This is really uh, okay. Let us try to import the math library and use something called as the ceil function. So what does the floor division do? Just a revision. So if we
The-
say 5
The
divided by
function
3,
will round off the
down to the
value.
nearest value.
down to the nearest value, right? Which means we say 5/3, what will be the output?
Three.
How?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. 1.
Yes. Right? Similarly, if we do ceil division, can you guess what is going to happen?
It will up to the value, round off
Beautiful.
value.
Which means the output should be
It's around 2.
2.
2. Beautiful. So import math. Okay. What we will do is print ceil, math. Okay. The ceil function is existing in the math library, right? So to address that ceil function, we should say math dot ceil. We have learned the dot notation, right? The ceil function is existing in the math library.
Okay.
And it just means that this is the last name and this is the first name of this function ceil. The ceil function is existing in the math library. So to access this method, we have to say ceil in the math library, which is math.ceil. Because this program knows math, we have imported math, right? So this program knows math, and hence we will say math.ceil. Any questions?
No,
Hello?
Gautam.
Sorry?
No, Gautam. No questions from my side.
Okay. What is that triggering up? Okay. So what we will do is stop. Oh, that is running. Okay, okay, my bad. So we will say here Python space libraries.py. You see the output? Just to confirm, can someone guess? Okay, 11 divided by 3, what should be the output of this ceil?
Four.
Sorry, how much?
4, 4.
Right, got it. Now we have got inside the math. I mean, we have math in our bag now. So if we want any function from the math library, we have to access them as math.function name, right? But how do we know what are the functions available in the math library? Simply, as we discussed earlier, we can say dir of simply math, and that will tell you what all functions are available in this math library. These are the functions that we are interested in this lab, which means we have ABS function. Okay, ABS is built in directly, I guess. We can use them directly. So we can find sign, we have floors division, we have seal division, we have remainder, we have pi value. So if we want to see the pi,
Sin, tan.
yeah, we have tan, tan h, etc. Square root. For example, we want to find the square root for math dot sqrt of 16. What is the answer?
4.
Math dot pi 3.414 something, 141 something, right?
Yes.
This is the square root function's output, and this is the pi value. Here, we have learned that these are the functions and constants that are always available, right? So these constants are also existing in the standard library functions as well. And one such constant is our pi in the context. This one. Which is why if you observe, the square root function had parenthesis after it, following it. But the math constant, pi constant does not have the parenthesis because pi is not a function. It is just a constant. Any questions coming to the standard libraries?
Uh, why it is called constant pi?
Why is it a constant? It is, okay, that's an interesting question. It is a constant because pi need not be a function. It is not a function. A function is something that when you give when you pass a value to it, it manipulates the value and gives a result, right?
Yes.
But pi is a constant value. It is 22/7.
Okay. So the values which are not changing, we can consider them as their constants.
Exactly. The meaning of constant is something that doesn't change.
Okay.
Right. Any more questions?
No, Gautam, I'm fine.
All right. So that is with the standard library. And next, let us proceed with the third kind of libraries called as external libraries. These are a little complex sounding, okay? But don't worry. Our built-ins, we are not installing, we are neither installing nor importing. Am I correct? When it comes to standard libraries, we are not installing, but we are importing. So when it comes to external libraries, we need to install them and import them. Okay. So the first question comes, how to install external libraries, right? So the syntax to import an external library is something called as PIP install, install package name. Let us attack this syntax word by word. What is PIP? Okay, PIP is nothing but it's a kind of short form for Python package installer. I did not write it wrong. This is the actual full form for which they have created this as a short form. Though the order is not same, they have went with it because this is more easier in saying or calling or pronouncing. Hence pip. We do pip. Okay. We say pip install package name. Okay. For example, if the package name is PySpark, then the syntax will be pip install PySpark. This is the command that should run in your terminal or CMD and not in the Python environment, which means not by opening terminal, hitting Python, and then we cannot install. Instead, what we have to do is open terminal or CMD and directly say pip install package. Okay. One caveat being you need to be in the environment of your Python package. So what is this environment? We will cover later, but just remind me quickly. Did we discuss about the VENV in Python? Virtual environments?
No, Gautam.
We did not
No,
discuss
Gautam.
about the virtual environments, right? Okay.
No.
So when we discuss about the virtual environments, you will get better clarity about this statement of ours. Okay. Any questions? We have seen how to install. Okay, how to install has been addressed. But where to find the packages that we want? There is a website called as pypi.org. What does this PYPI stand for? The PI stands for PY stands for Python package index. PYPI. Hence, this is the website that lists out all the external Python libraries. The libraries that we are talking about, or we will be talking about when we go higher into our data engineering practices, like for example, NumPy, Pandas, PySpark, PyTorch, if you have ever heard of. We will not use in our sessions, but just for this thing, PyTorch and what do you call Boto 3,
Apache
etc.
Beam
etc.
is also Python flavor only, right?
Sorry.
Apache Beam.
Yes, Apache Beam is a software that also has a Python package or library existing. Okay. All these and more are the external libraries that we need to install before, to be able to import. To be able to import. Okay. Why to import? To be able to use. Any questions? Any questions, anybody? All right.
No questions.
If no questions, let us address the elephant in the room. Before doing that, let us see if we have covered. Yes, what all to be covered. All right. Now, what we will look into is an interesting topic, at least for me, which is the caveats of import. Okay. There are three ways in which we can import Python functions. Python, yeah, functions. Okay. Which is, first way, the most common way is import, sorry, import module name. This is what we have seen. Example, import math. Okay. Two, uh, import math or module name dot star. Okay, this is one way of doing it. Three, from module name import star. This is one way of doing it. So what are the differences? Okay, by doing this, what we are telling when we are saying import math, we are telling the Python interpreter to bring this whole bag. The name of the bag is math, which means from this bag, anything you want, you will say from this bag name dot the function name. Okay. Any questions with this so far?
No question.
All right. Second one is this way. And this is the most approved way of, approved in the sense most supported or recommended way of importing Python packages and functions. Okay. This is the least preferred package importing method. Okay, because what we are doing here is it is like saying import math dot star, which means we are not bringing the math bag. Instead, we are taking each and every function from this bag and bringing them. Okay, which means after importing functions, after doing importing like this, to use the ceil function, we don't have to say math dot ceil. That should be good, right? Why is it bad? Why is it least recommended?
Unnecessary will be importing all the module, like all the functions which are not required in the program as well.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. I mean, definitely one very good reason. But for this particular thing, we'll talk about that in just a bit. But what is the issue with this particular thing? The issue with this particular thing is, let us say the developer in his program has defined ceil, right? And gave a separate set of actions for it. Which means the developer has his own flavor of ceil function, right? When he does this in the function, in the this thing above, in the same file above, if he's saying import math dot ceil or even maybe math dot star, that ceil function is directly conflicting with this function because both have same names and parameters. And the user defined function is going to override the built-in function. Understand this. User defined function is going to override the built-in function. So what is wrong with it? There is no point in importing this function anymore, right? Instead, if the user has done just import math, he can call his own defined, his user defined function ceil just by saying ceil with the brackets. and the ceil function in the math library as math.ceil. For our understanding, let us say by doing the module name dot star, we are adopting all the functions in this module, which means the last name of the functions in this module is going to be your file name. And your file already has a function with the same first name. Your file name dot ceil cannot be twice, right? Cannot be defined twice in the same program. That is going to create conflict. Like Python will not know which ceil function are we trying to call. If both are existing, right? Hence, Python will keep the function in your program and will discard the function that has been adopted. Are you guys following?
Yes, Gautam.
That is why, though this method is available, it is recommended not to use. However, if you want to use packages like that, wherein you want to import only few modules or packages or functions from a module, from an external library, you can say from that module or package name, import your module or function name. And the best part here is there is a keyword just like in SQL called as used to alias, and give it your name, the name with which you want to call it in your function, in your program. Like I can say from math import ceil, okay, as C. When I say C and give brackets, it means for Python, it will understand as, okay, he is talking about math.c. And when I say ceil with parenthesis, like the Python interpreter understands that I am talking about the built-in, the ceil function that is defined in my program. Any questions, anybody? Hello?
No.
All right. So this is how we can install Python packages. And we have discussed about this thing, import and like different ways of importing modules in Python. All right, let us take, it is 9:34 now. Uh, let us take a 2 to 3 minute break. That's it. I'll just drink some water and we'll continue. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are we back? We never left
Yes,
until.
Gautam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Gautam.
Yeah, expected. Thank you for understanding. So, all right. So by far we have seen how to utilize the built-in, what do you call, or the functions developed by someone else, right? All the built-ins or the standard library or the external libraries correspond to the work developed by others. And if you believe it or not, Python has come into the market much later after Java, right? But the community is next to Java in its capacity, in its size. Which the number of people, the number of Python developers in the world are just next to Java. My statistics could be a little old, and by now, Python could have even surpassed Java in that this thing. And Python is another, the another advantage with Python is it has, if I am not wrong, as on date, world's largest libraries. If not world's largest, again next to Java. Java and Python are leading in the world in the list of libraries and what do you call community support. Okay, so most of the tasks that you want to do in your work or any personal this space, you should find an external library in the PyPy space. Nevertheless, we all will have to create our own functions in our companies, organizations. And when talking about the theory of functions, we were saying that you write a function that can be used across your organizations and projects, right? How to make that happen is the target of this particular topic, which is we will be creating our own user-defined modules and packages in Python. All right. Let us first try to understand what is a Python module. A Python module is nothing but a .py file that has all your functions and everything defined. Basically, it is just a .py file. I mean, there is a file name here, but any .py file can be considered as a Python module. Any questions? Which means we have just created libraries dot py file, right? Now let us create our module dot py file. Okay, we will define a function here. We will import this module into our libraries.py and use this function. Okay, shall we do that experiment?
Yes.
So what did we say? Any .py file is a Python module. So let's create our this thing first. This is a very terrible name. Let us choose a better name. Basic mathematical function dot py. Okay, this is my what do you call function Python file name. All right. So now what I will do here, I will create function called as add. That's it. Okay. Let us import this basic mathematical functions .py file in our libraries.py. What we will do for now is let us comment all this. Okay, now let us say import basic functions, and it is suggesting this thing BMF. Let us say print BMF dot add of 5,6. What should be the output when we run this program now?
It should add
Hello?
two.
Sorry,
It should add two values,
and
like
print the
5
result.
and print the output.
Got it? We have used the add function in the basic mathematical functions.py file. We have imported this file. Sorry. Observe, we are not writing basic mathematical functions.py here. That is wrong. We will just write basic mathematical functions, and we don't have to write the alias. It is just for our convenience. Similarly, we can also have return ABS of A minus B. ABS is the absolute value. Okay. Now let us, yes. Now what will be the output of this BMF dot subtract of 5,6? What should be the output?
-1.
But we said absolute value. What does absolute value means?
Plus or minus, it shows the values in positive only.
Exactly. The sign is ignored. Okay. So we will be seeing 11 and 1 as our outputs. Because there are two print statements. Am I correct? Are you guys able to follow?
Yeah.
Now, can someone tell me what I will do here is, no, I will say print add of 10,6, and I will say Python space basic mathematical functions dot py. Now what will be the output? Will it run or not? The first question.
It will run.
Beautiful. So what will be the output?
Like
16, right?
it will add the 12 rules. Yeah.
Right. You see this? Because this is just yet another .py file. This is running. I mean, this will also run. So imagine this to be your program, like at your organization. Let us say you have created a new interesting function that that the whole organization can actually use. Let us assume. Okay. Which means, let us say you have created a function that takes in, let me write. Let us say you have created a function that takes in, what do you call, connection objects for Snowflake and Dataproc. Okay. And continuously, what do you call, monitor the data transfers from to and fro. Any idea what is happening here? You have Snowflake, one database, and Databricks is another database service by Google Cloud. Okay. Let us say you have created a function that continuously monitors the data transfers between these two database servers. Okay. Now, let us assume that your whole organization wants to use it in their own, what do you call, projects. Right? Let us assume this is that function of yours that the whole organization wants to use. You can still use your function in your Python file, and your organization can import your function, I mean your program, and make use of the function inside. Any questions?
ఒకసారి చెప్పడం గౌతమ్ లాస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్.
For example, let us say you have created a function, some function, random function. Let us say this subtract function you have created, and your whole organization wants to use it. You have created this function for your own purpose.
ఓకే
Me task lo, you have some requirement for a subtract function, and you have created this. Okay. And now your organization has seen this function and they like it. They want to use it in their projects also.
ఓకే
What they can do? They can simply import your Python file and use the function. Right? And you also can use the function in your own program.
ఓకే
That is the power of reusability the functions, modules, and packages offer in programming.
If suppose this function it is used globally throughout the organization, can we modify in between if we require to alter the function
You can
to our
definitely
requirement?
modify,
Okay,
and they should get back to like, I mean, you can definitely modify, and if the modification is such that their existing workflows may fail. Okay,
okay,
if you think that their existing workflows may fail, then you have to, what do you call, include it in the help document. Now, how to create help documents for functions in Python is a beautiful subject that we will discuss when we discuss further into strings.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yes, but to
So
address your question directly, yes, you can modify it, and the modified function is also reflected in their workflows.
okay, but it will impact their workflow, right? For their usability.
You can make your modifications least impactful to them.
Okay,
If like we have learned the other constructs like default parameters, variable keyword parameters, variable parameters, and all that, right?
yes,
Variable arguments, variable keyword arguments, default parameters, and the likes. So using all those constructs, you can create functions in such a way that, for example, you want to add another keyword to this, another parameter to this function definition, saying C. Okay.
okay,
Now, when you run this program, this will throw an error, right?
okay.
Why? It is
C
saying
is not
correct.
possible. This
Huh.
is not.
So now you can reduce the impact by saying C is equal to 0.
Okay,
And in your workflow, you can say, you make the change, and you can pass 8, whatever value you want here, to that you want to pass to C. Okay. And their workflow will not be impacted by your change. Theirs is still working,
okay,
right? And for us, we can run our function also. Okay, we have ran our function only. What we
yeah,
if we write Python libraries, then we see we get 1. Now, why did we get 4? We have only one print statement here, right? But why did we get 2 outputs here? This one is corresponding to this function. What we will do for clarity, this is from the libraries.py function. Okay. And now let me this thing. I'm running Python libraries.py. From the libraries.py, I got what output I want. But I got this 4 also. And where is this program coming from? All right. Observe, I'm running Python libraries.py. I'm getting output from libraries.py as well as basic mathematical functions.py. How to not get this? When you are running libraries.py, you should not get the output from basic mathematical functions.py. Am I correct? Is that logical, valid enough point?
yes,
Right. But still we are getting this, right?
Yeah.
How to avoid this, we will discuss in the next session.
Okay.
Okay.
Because of
But
importing it is affected, or
no, nothing like that. We'll
okay,
see how. Yeah, the
okay,
importing itself is making this work, making this happen. But why
okay,
is it happening, and why how to avoid that, how to make sure that does not happen, will be dealt tomorrow.
okay,
But for now, let us discuss about this part. Like, I have modified my subtract function, but it does not have an impact on the others who have who are dependent on my subtract function. Am I correct?
yes,
They did not change their function call, and yet it's still working happily, properly. Which means we can modify our functions in such a way that others need not be impacted by the change that we are making. Understood?
yeah,
The
understood.
change should be impacted only applied to only for us. It should not be applied to anyone.
Exactly. We can try to keep our changes effective only for us. But there can be situations when what do you call? You have to make a change, and you have to make a change that will be impacting the whole organization, and all you have to do is just take what do you call, required permissions from the others, and then you are good to go. And or else you don't even have to seek permission, because it is your function at the end of the day. You can just intimate them about the change and the change that they should make in their code. Okay,
Okay.
that's it. So with this, let us wrap up the session for today. Any questions?
No question from my side.
No, brother.
Okay. Stopping shares. Okay. Screen share. All right. Stopping recording.